Brought to you by the Rugby Outlet Mall, equipping you for freedom and connection through rugby. Find out more at rugbyoutletmall.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Greaux Rugby. My name is GiftTime Egbelu. I am so excited to be able to have you here. Of course, this is where we talk to people about rugby opportunities and connections that they have found, made, created, or somehow been involved with that could help or have come from rugby. I know it's a whole mouthful. Like, what can I say? It's wild. Of course, within this, we always want to talk to people that can help in any sort of way. So that does mean those who are in rugby as well as those who might not be directly a part of rugby outside the industry. And this is going to be one of those that are the latter. This guest is a personal connecting to mine because it's my younger brother, but it is someone who I felt like is capable of providing some real value for those who are going to be coming in from high school and especially college and want to be able to utilize rugby as a means of being able to swing themselves into other situations. And that's my brother, Chisa Egbelu, with the company PeduL, PeduL. You guys are going to have a great listen and definitely listen to some opportunities that will be coming from there, because it is something that I think is really important, that we are constantly using rugby as a means of not just helping us on the field, not just helping us within our rugby community, but also help us within society and to be able to develop industry and economy and really, really slowly take over the world with the rugby life. But I really enjoyed this. This was a great interview. This was a great talk. It wasn't very long, but it was very informative. Want to make sure that you have all the information. But of course, this episode is we finally got sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Rugby Outlet Mall. The Rugby Outlet Mall is the newest platform for rugby merchandise and gear, centered around developing travel and mobility and connection through rugby. As they say, they are looking to equip you They are able to equip you on your rugby journey with connection and mobility. I messed that up. But the point is, it definitely is something to check out. Obviously, it's some of our gear that are there, HBC Rugby Classic gear, some GiftTime Rugby gear, some graphic tees that we've presented, some electronics, and we're always going to be stocking it up more and more. So Rugby Outlet Mall, really check it out, rugbyoutletmall.com, RUGBYOUTLET mall.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Rugby Outlet Mall, or Twitter, Rugby Outlet Mall. Really just all social media, Rugby Outlet Mall. Really enjoyed it. So there's not really too much to talk about except MLR having a collegiate draft. I think that's a really interesting and unique thing. And for those who are looking to take their rugby career to the next level, there's definitely a unique way. And I'm really excited to see what MLR is trying to do for this next component. And I think this is something that will be able to grow within the wider field and obviously creates more lucrative natures for rugby here in the U.S. and definitely what it can economically provide and what it can socially provide globally. So, guys, anyways, without any further ado, let you guys have fun listening to this one. Chisa Egbelu, PeduL. Check it out.
Grow rugby, grow rugby, grow rugby, grow
Let go to rock.
grow rugby, grow rugby, grow rugby, grow
Let go to rock. All right, everybody. I got another great guest, another VIP. This one is very personal to me because not only is he one of the sponsors with the HBCU Rugby Classic with his company PeduL, but of course, this is my surname sharer. This is the brother from the same mother, the brother from the same father. Basically, this is my brother, but someone who has such a massive impact in what's going on. Chisa Egbelu. Yo, Chisa, man, I appreciate you coming up on Greaux Rugby.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It's good to be here. It's about time. Thank you.
Eventually, we're going to have to do it. You have to put a little bit of space in between it so it doesn't feel so rinky-dink, because everyone would be like, oh, you're just interviewing anybody. I'm like,
That's
no, I believe me, he has purpose.
Oh, appreciate you so much for vouching for me. All right, so what are we talking about?
I got you, man. So look, one of the main reasons of why I wanted to have you on, outside of obviously just having great conversation with family, but what you do.
And we are. I just want to say, we are a proud sponsor of the HBC Rugby Classic. You got to add in proud so people know you're not just doing it just because.
The emphasis, right? The emphasis. I agree. A proud and loving sponsor of the HBCU Rugby Classic.
All right, you can add that. All right, go ahead.
But we wanted to be able to show what it is that you're doing, and the significance of what you do. I think is actually probably the most directly attached to rugby in this era, particularly as we try and grow it from a youth base, and we're developing it here in the States up through the professional ranks and international ranks, and especially when it comes to the insertion of people from other countries and how they understand and being able to utilize the systems that the U.S. has in conjunction with rugby. And you actually end up playing a little bit of a bridge part. So for the sake of context, so that people aren't just like wondering and talking around it, can you explain what exactly PeduL is?
For sure. Hopefully they didn't click out yet, but what PeduL is a scholarship marketplace, and what that means for students is a platform that they can go to and apply to multiple scholarships with a single application. So it's kind of like that common application for scholarships model. And on the other side of that marketplace, it's a scholarship builder for individuals, organizations, and corporations. And so corporations actually utilize our platform, obviously to allocate scholarships, but primarily to be able to staff and recruit student talent.
And look, I think it's one of those things. People always are wondering, where are they able to go to school, and especially in this point in time where everybody was already talking about the rising costs of schools. So there was already beginning to be the low-key rebellion against higher level education. But now we're in this era where, especially after Corona is going to be finishing and being hit, people are going to be trying to figure out jobs, especially young people. This class of 2020, 2021 is going to see such a difficulty that something from even my class of 2008, 2009 had faced with with the previous recession. So to be able to have a direct access for companies to be able to find and attract the students, that is significant. That is incredibly significant. Now, what was it that you guys were looking for? And obviously I mentioned some stuff, but what was it that you guys were looking at whenever you guys started this that led you to look at this as a solution to a very problem? Like, what was the problem that you guys had been able to pinpoint that you felt you could fill?
Yeah, I mean, when it came down to it, honestly, it was just access to education. It was like, education is something that benefits a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of entities. But how can we get all of these organizations and entities to participate in increasing that access? For example, let's say PeduL, right? PeduL's in a better place if it has more individuals and students that are educated in the things we need to be great as an organization. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's say the NFL, right? The NFL actually is a better company whenever there are more data analysts coming through the pipeline. So it's like, how can we leverage the NFL to actually put money, but actually be part of the educational process of these data analysts coming up, since they're the ones that are going to benefit the most. So really what it was being able to incentivize all of these different parties and entities to put money where they're going to benefit most. And really the hardest part was really properly dissecting and creating that narrative, but also figuring out exactly what the winning pain points were for these people, for these entities. And so that's how we were able to best leverage it for students.
And that's, again, it's an underestimated concept because especially in a changing world, and especially as we're getting to one that's more numbers-based, more automated-based, you have to be able to figure out these niches. And you think everybody assumes that like you use the NFL as an example, or people
Yeah.
say Google or anything like that, that there is already inherent thought that these companies are already getting the best and they're finding them somehow. But the reality of it is that they're still looking and they're trying to figure out how to filter through it. So this is almost like a throughway point for them as well too.
I mean, yeah, when it comes down to the reality of it is that there aren't enough of the best for them
Yeah.
to even deal with. They have roles that need to be filled, and there's a huge skills gap between the skills that students are obtaining or not obtaining and those skills that they actually need to move forward as a company. And, everyone talks about automation and AI taking jobs. And yeah, on a certain degree, that's true. But what it's doing is shifting jobs.
Right.
The people need to learn the skill sets of other roles so that they can still be essential in moving the company forward based on a critical thinking perspective.
Facts. So whenever it's coming back, so before everybody just starts to be like, well, we're just going to talk about jobs and stuff, and it's like, no, there's a reason why we're coming back to it, because it has a purpose within the within the
bring
rugby.
It back.
Say what? You got to bring it back.
Bring it together.
But it has purpose within the rugby space.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that people in the rugby world are always looking for, especially now, high schoolers, respectively, and then obviously colleges, is that is the many ways that rugby creates an opportunity. Right now there's been the opening of scholarships with few schools like a Lindenwood, Life, occasionally Cal, and a few others that are out there. Not very many, but there's a few others, Penn State, Dartmouth, whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody can make it to those schools, or even necessarily wants to go to those schools. And so they try and find ways of being able to go to those schools without it being such a major toll on them. And then even after that, the skills, and you always want to be able to utilize your networks within rugby to be able to hopefully jump and get a job. That's not always maybe well done through the U.S. structure, but in this, it provides maybe another opportunity where a student from within the U.S. could go ahead, they go through you guys and would be able to maybe directly find a scholarship to a school to be able to attend, where they could also be able to develop their rugby skill and their career base. For them, how would the process go for them to be able to find a scholarship using your platform?
So a student would just go to PeduL.com, put their name in, fill out the application, and then they get presented with scholarships that appeal directly to what they filled out, what they're eligible for, and then go right through and apply. And the best part is that as more and newer scholarships are added to the process, they're texted and emailed alerts so that they can actually continue to apply with that same application. So, you talk about how these individual schools can put their scholarships up, but what's happening more often than not is students aren't exactly getting that full ride situation when it comes through, right?
Right.
And what this is an opportunity for them to supplement that offer or not offer with these third-party scholarships and really put the money all together into one location. So yeah, that's how they do it. They just go to PeduL.com. Easy as that. And I gotta say too, it's these corporations, these businesses, anyone in the professional field, there is a value that comes to athletes. Some people hate to hear that.
I was about to say.
Yeah, there's a real value that comes to it. It's because when it comes to athletes, that there's a certain discipline that's been practiced, a work ethic that's been attached, and a determination, and also a loyalty, right? And a team working spirit. And rugby is a sport where that's often coupled with actually having a good time. That's not every sport. So
you had the pleasure of witnessing it in small effects.
Yeah, I've seen the HBC Rugby Classic. I've been there. So it's important for these organizations to be able to pinpoint these players in an appropriate manner so that they can bring them on board. And so while they can have a role in their educational process, but more importantly for them, they want to have a role in their life after rugby.
And that's I think where it becomes most established, because most people aren't going to end up going to play pros or play at top level international, but a lot of them are going to end up being guys who
Pros and other things, right?
Right, exactly. But I was going to say still playing like club rugby and stuff like that.
For
But
sure.
yes, pros and other things essentially. And so you want to be able to at least allow them to be able to facilitate the enjoyment of playing rugby and utilize that skill that is there, because the discipline is real, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
But being able to use that, leverage it into other positions, and that gives an opportunity for other rugby players coming up behind them. And, being able to put these people in positions, especially in these major corporate areas, that's a different game changer altogether.
And what it does in the grand scale of things is that it puts people in decision-making positions that actually value rugby, or better yet, I should say, understand the values that come out of it.
Right.
And so it then puts, when we're looking at things like sponsors or just putting themselves in front of the right audience, you have rugby people looking and understanding what is other rugby people.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a marathon game, but it is a very poignant and pointed one. Obviously, when it came with the HBCU Rugby Classic, we worked within a quote quote minority arena. Like for that, what is the arena like for it whenever utilizing PeduL? What is it looking like for people of color, diversity people? Essentially people, disenfranchised people. In essence.
Yeah, exactly. Underrepresented, right?
Underrepresented. I like that better. It's less victimized.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to that, we always lean in that direction more often than not, because the special thing about scholarships, I'll say it from two fronts. Obviously, when it comes to scholarships in general, believe it or not, there actually are not that many scholarships that are for, let's say brown female in Texas, right? You would think that there's a lot there, but there really aren't. And so part of our process, part of our platform is being a place where anyone can create that scholarship, and making sure that it's a location where anyone, whether it's you, me, any organization can say, I want to create $1,000 scholarship right now. I want to pinpoint who it's for, and I want to source those students, right? They can do that immediately. And so on the flip side of that, the students can get those notifications of the scholarship's existence and get that right away. Now, when it comes to the corporate side, the really cool thing is that these guys got to diversify, not for a philanthropic reason, but for the sake of their bottom line. When your company, Utmost Lily, does not look like your consumer base or does not look like the country that you're in, it's really hard to continue to be effective on a marketing scale, on an innovation level. It's just difficult, so what they can do with scholarships that they can't do on a job board. You can't go onto monster.com or LinkedIn, etc., and say you're looking, for example, for a woman engineer. There's certain discrimination compliance that comes
right. You're going to get hit by the Better Business Bureau and then some in a hard way.
Oh yeah, hard. But what you can do is create a scholarship for that exact same thing and take that application pool and turn it into a candidate pipeline. And that's a candidate pipeline that they can allocate things like training modules and coaching curriculum to further develop the skill sets of those students to actually match their strategic needs, so that they have a more equipped, more educated pool of students to pull from when it's time to get hired.
It is interesting to me whenever you speak within those specifics, because again, like you mentioned, a lot of people would think, hey, maybe if I go to Indeed, or maybe I go to Monster, maybe I go to what is that other one? Whatever, the other job site one. But
you're lucky you don't have to worry about it.
Right? It's just you put it's almost like a shotgun effect, and they always talk about they're able to get the best qualified or wherever, but again, the best qualified might not always be the one that is the fit that you need, or like best qualified is a very relative term, so to be able to find it in such a specific manner becomes uniquely interesting. And again, try and overemphasize the fact of whatever the skills that you are utilizing within this sport, this all develops back in to creating a network, and you're accessing a network, and you need to be able to use these outside networks to be able to help develop and strengthen the rugby community network domestically and internationally, because that's one of the biggest issues that are occurring right now. Like, a lot of poor decision making has allowed for poor results, which puts people in a precarious position. It's one of the reasons, like right now, rugby has a big struggle when it comes to maintaining club rugby people, because the cost of playing becomes much more than it is to be able to work. But if you're able to create these job positions, create these or get these job opportunities, like you said,
that's a good point.
puts people inside that position. And even more so now, these companies now see this specific market that hopefully that is able to produce in a way, and can say, okay, we've seen these characteristics from these people, and we're able to now develop off from that. So off of a platform like yours, is it in doing so, was this an effort of networking? Was this just like, hey, these businesses came to you guys? Is this a factor? Like, how did you guys end up knowing which of these businesses are needing it? How do they come to you? How do they connect with you?
There's so many different ways. When it comes down to it, on the most ground floor level, it was just us reaching out, finding out what they needed, what motivated them, and putting all the pieces together. We worked our personal networks. We went to a bunch of events and were able to get connected with a lot of different talent acquisition managers, D&I, diversity and inclusion heads, and just recruiters. And we heard their struggles, what they are trying to work on, and we just made it make sense with what we're trying to do. And so we fit the pieces together, and that's how we're able to put this whole puzzle in one place. And obviously it's not the most traditional model. We know what we're doing
anyways.
Completely, right? We know what we're doing is a bit innovative, and it's a different approach and a different scope. But we think that's what it's going to take for the world to stay innovative and for these companies to stay on the right edge of history.
So let me ask this, is would it be a platform, or would it be something that could be utilized as well to be able to determine or figure out sponsorships as well for organizations or a person or a brand or a team or anything to that effect? Do you guys think that your platform could low-key work in that method, or do you think it's just better is it much more better directed in terms of helping to fill gap spaces for these corporations and universities?
I think maybe one day we can grow into that. I think for right now, we got to make sure that we just focus on doing this well. And part of being innovative is making sure that people understand that it works. And, we're going to really see the results and the fruits of our labor in a year, 2 years from now, when these students are well placed and well funded. But for now, we got to make sure we're continuing to just put our boots on the ground, keep our sales going, make sure that our student pipeline is consistent, make sure that our corporate pipeline, and not just the corporate pipeline, right, but the scholarship providers of all types, make sure that we're the location where anyone can create a scholarship, and we're the location where anyone can get a scholarship, and everything else falls into place after that.
Awesome. Last kind of question for you. Last two questions for you.
All right.
First one is, when it comes to a particular kind of person to be able to utilize your platform, is there any criteria that you guys are specifically looking for within a user of PeduL?
Right now we're focused on people that are going to school in the United States or looking to go to school in the United States.
So it could include foreign international people coming to the United States as well?
Yeah, that's totally fine. But as long as their goal and prerogative is within the
US.
50 states and whatnot.
Keep it America, all right, people? You keep it America.
That's not the reason, but we can do that for now. It's just about us staying focused and accomplishing our current task and mission. and then we're going to expand for sure. But right now, that's really the only filter that there is when it comes to the student side.
And do you guys do any kind of other programs that kind of work in conjunction that students might be able to take opportunities from and be able to use some other things that you guys are offering that might not be necessarily directed of what the platform itself does, but it's platform adjacent? Does that make sense?
I think so. For us, we keep our students privy to like all the opportunities that come our way. And so it's not just about the scholarships, but we keep them alert, especially during times like this where you don't know when you go outside, but we keep them alert to where there are virtual career fairs, other opportunities to meet the goals that they came to our platform for. And we want to be the end all be all, but we're very okay with anyone using all they can to suffice their goal. So we are pretty open about that. Do whatever you have to do. We'll tell you where all the opportunities are. It's up to you just to take them.
Yo, that's what's up. That's what's up. And then the last question for you is, if there was a pure sentence, a single sentence that you could use to just let people know, not exactly what PeduL is, but what it can mean to them. Like what would it be in a short stint, a short summation?
Hey, I guess in a short 3 words, PeduL is opportunity. And, you can take that how you want to. That to you is monetary opportunity. If it's job opportunity, simply just exploring your connections and network opportunity. Take it how you hear it. But PeduL is opportunity.
Yo, that's dope. Dude, Chisa, man, I really do appreciate it. Yo, where can they find you guys at?
You can find us at We Are PeduL. That's WeArepedul, PeduL. We Are PeduL. And everything else is there. If you want to find my personal Instagram, it'll be in that bio. And keep us privy. But check us out online at PeduL.com. PeduL.com.
Awesome. Oh, dude. And you guys got a new line of stuff?
It's not a PeduL line, but if they are looking for a line, there is a line that is available called Hazmat Fashion. So if you're looking for some fashionable hazmat suits, we definitely got you.
Yo, we're protecting your opportunity and your body.
Hey, for sure. And just so people aren't concerned, they aren't medical grade exactly. So there's no hospitals looking for them. We didn't take it from any supply. So if they're looking for some suits just to make sure that they're good in the store, up here in New Jersey, we're looking at being inside for a long time. So
look,
definitely reach out. hazmatfashion.com.
How is it that we end up in the number 2 and 3 like most viral Corona states?
I know there's something to it. It's because everyone wants to be here. It's everyone. Corona only hitting the hottest spots. If Corona's not hitting your spot's whack.
It's a true story. Look, you're not lit enough if your spot is just on the low end. Like,
if Corona's not knocking you out, then like no one wanted to be there in the first place. Real talk. Like that's the only reason.
Oh, big facts. Oh,
yeah, so hazmatfashion.com.
Hazmatfashion.com. You guys check it out. And dude, thank you so much again for just taking the time, bro.
For sure. I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Talk to you when I talk to you, man. Cheers, bro.
Peace.
Hey, I want to take the time to thank Chisa Egbelu for coming on. Really appreciate it. That was great information. And seriously, you guys, take a look at it. PeduL.com. I think it's going to be something that is going to be massive for where you want to go with your career, whether it is in rugby or out of it. But it's an opportunity and an ability to be able to connect things. And we always want a means of connection. We need to have access points. So thank you so much, Chisa, for coming on. And guys, please don't forget to check out some of our other podcasts that we've done. We got to talk with Phil Thiel last week. Prior to that, Raheem Vital and Mike Toussaint, as well as Nia Tapper of USA Rugby Sevens, Dave Rhymes, and of course, the famous lovely couple, Tiana and Kyle Granby. So much more coming in, and guys, we're trying to get this in every week on Tuesdays. We'll start to move to 2 a week if we get enough. So just hope that we get more, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Please check us out on Facebook, GiftTime Rugby, Instagram, GiftTime Rugby, all social media, GiftTime Rugby. The video will be up on our YouTube page, GiftTime Rugby Network. And guys, look forward to more and more interviews coming up in the near future. We're trying to expand this and make this something that you guys can find valuable, that you guys will be able to take from it and develop it and put it into your own systems and be able to just take some refuge. So you guys enjoy, and look forward to talking to you again.
Grows
Cheers.
Rugby.